And welcome, faithful followers of the green and white. It's been an adventure getting up here to Rockland, but we are in place just moments before kickoff. The anthem's played. Sierra's baritone public address announcer has made sure that we all know who's taking the field, and you do as well on the graphic here. For the Vikings, no changes. It's Correa in goal, Rodas and Ninkovic bracketing the defense, which will consist in the center of DeChoco and Hicks, who has recovered from that ankle injury she was dealing with towards the end of the match on Tuesday. Your midfield is going to consist of Ruiz, Rosemont, and Esquivias, Singh, Trujillo, and Lopez Real, your attacking trident. For Sierra, you see the lineup there. It's most of the regular suspects, although Giselle Mercado, by my count, getting her first start of the season. I had her down as 12 appearances, but yet to wear a jersey right from the get-go. So Sierra will have her for the first time here alongside Benedetto, Madrigal, Kazanek, Rapice, Dennett, Sisto, Young, Myers, and Tamayo. And I've only been up here for a little while, so I'm going to just put out the ask to the scorer and the public address announcer that are here beside me that if I butcher a Sierra player's name, just tap me on the shoulder and kindly correct me. I've been here for all of 2 minutes before finally getting the stream rolling. Your refereeing crew, Ken Pulver, Les Miyashiro, and Chris James will be taking care of things. They're in the orange over black and black refereeing kit. Sierra College in the home black jerseys, although in honor of Pinktober, the pink shorts and pink socks cut quite the interesting figure there. Silver numbers and silver Sierra across the front with the badge over the heart as well. DVC, of course, are going to be in the home whites, white jersey, black shorts, and white socks. Oh, and getting a plug as well here for those that want to listen in. Of course, if you are a Sierra fan listening in, it's going to sound a little different when y'all score compared to when DVC scores. Just proper warning. I do different things. But glad to have you along regardless of your persuasion here today on DVC Vikings Live Radio. This is the Vikings against the current NorCal #1 Sierra College, coming to you live from Rockland, California. Jason Gant's Wolverines so far this season, the state's draw specialists. And in fact, they did a little bit of that just a few days ago as they drew the Cosumnes River Hawks 1-1. Coming courtesy of a Taylor Rapice goal in the 70th minute. Hawks held the lead for 25 minutes, but Sierra still with just the one loss on the season at 7-1-6, 3-0-2 inside conference play. For the Vikings, a 3-0 loss, but again, one that doesn't feel quite as rough as the scoreline might look. Denise Correa with 11 saves in that one as the ball is at midfield. We are just about ready for action. Checking his watch is Ken Pulver. We'll tell you a little more about DVC's game earlier this week as we get underway here live from Rockland.
Okay, thank you, sir. Anyways, long story short, Janice.
As we said, DVC in the white over black, Sierra in the black over pink. Ken Pulver with the whistle in his mouth in the orange over black and black. And we are underway in this very moment here. DVC Sierra, final road trip of the regular season for the green and white. And the ball immediately on the foot of Giselle Mercado, starting for the first time today, as we mentioned. Puts it up the right side for Taylor Rapice, near the corner flag, stepping to it and stabbing it away as a DVC defender, but it does come to the right back. Cross inside, cleared away by Diana Ruiz. You can see right away here on the screen graphics well, it's a very different looking roster. Sierra's is about twice the length of that of DVC. Talked on Tuesday a little bit about the lack of participation from a few players that have suffered injuries over the course of the recent going as the ball's put down the left side in search of the 23, Evelyn Albor. And that's out for a goal kick. Be the first of those for Denise Correa here. Just 50-odd seconds gone here in first half action. As we were telling you, Diablo Valley College, a 3-0 loss extends the winless run they have been on since September 6th to 11 matches. But they've been getting more and more encouraging. Obviously, the kinds of teams you face in the Big Eight, as ball is out here at the near sideline. Sierra attacking right to left across your YouTube progress bar. Ball thrown in by DVC. Esquivias gets a touch, back to Ninkovic. In that game, DVC gave up the early goal, but as that one's off the foot of Albor and out for another throw near midfield, hoofed forward by Ninkovic. That game was 1-0 until the very late going of the first half, and as has been an unfortunate habit, a goal right before the halftime break conditioned things just a touch in terms of the feel when the Vikings went back into the locker room. Sierra possessing right now on the defensive end, that ball forward. Taken down by Rodas, finds Trujillo, who goes to the right side in search of Esquivias. Might have been a handball as it popped up on Albor, but Esquivias will claim, centers that up for Singh, but the first touch is not going to favor any sort of control or shot from about 20 yards away, dead center. Sierra trying to escape from the back, and they will give away another throw in to the Vikes from this near sideline. Now, recent history in this DVC Sierra rivalry tells two different stories. One is that the Vikings haven't had a lot of success against the Wolverines in recent years, and Sierra looking to create that sort of feel right away as the ball's forward, flag up all the way across the field from Chris James, AR2. And that'll be a free kick for the Vikings in just a moment. The DVC have won just one of their last 16 meetings with Sierra, but the interesting thing is how tight those games have been despite the lopsided eventual results. Out of those 16 games, 14 of them went to the halftime break either tied or with one team leading by a single goal. And of those 14, all but 3 of those games got to the 75-minute mark, still in that sort of situation, one team leading by a goal or the match tied. Here's Trujillo, or rather Rosemont over the right side looking for the speed of Esquivias. She will get there before it gets over the byline on the right side. A little bit of a mishandle as she tries to get it back. It appears that has gone over the back line for a goal kick. Esquivias unable to bring that under control after she had done the hard yards to flag it down. Now, Esquivias was part of the most encouraging action that we saw from DVC against the defending state champions on Tuesday. She was responsible for initiating a counterattack that was all about speed. One big knock-on after a turnover. And she took off and just beat the left back in a foot race. Managed to feed Casey Trujillo in that case at the half moon. And Trujillo let rip with a shot from about 20 yards that just skimmed the crossbar. Would have made it 2-1 at that point, and you've got to figure game on then. They talk about 2-0 being the most dangerous lead, and that's why. Here's a ball in towards the box from the right side, stabbed away from the 11, Kazanek, after it was put in by the Sierra right back. It's now Sofia Lopez Real on the ball near the midfield stripe, all the way at the far sideline, left side of DVC's attack. Her ball forward cut off by Caitlin Myers. Your defensive line here, Evelyn Albor, Ashanti Madrigal, and, well, 2 others, but Sierra's already attacking up the other end, so we'll wait for the roll call for a little while here. 28 Tamayo is your right center back. We'll get a look at right back in a little bit as another ball's put through Route 1 looking for Kazanek, cleared away by an ever-attentive Milaninkovic, who, if my eyes do not deceive me, is wearing the captain's armband today alongside Casey Trujillo, so that bequeathed by Lily Underwood, the Vikings' injured captain, out for the season with an ACL tear, has been making that a ceremony at the beginning of each match since she went out with the injury. To have someone take her place out there. Giveaway at the back for DVC, but Trujillo getting stuck in. Ball pops loose. Trying to close that up for a moment was Myers. Pops out to Albor on the left side, trying to take on Esquivias. Carol will get between her and the attempted cross, but she now gets it back after Kazanek chased it down, and Esquivias again takes it away. Hicks with the clearance up the right side. Suhani Singh trying to hold that in play. It's out for a Wolverine throw. Ball on the left side rolled in on the ground and cleared away here by Ella DeChoco. Kazanek seems to be your left side striker alongside Giselle Mercado. Throw in It's going to force Suhani Singh to do some work from an on-rushing Ashanti Madrigal. Ball claimed again by Sierra at the left side of the midfield. It is Madrigal on it. Centrally for Tamayo. Sierra spreading out to use all the width of this field here in Rockland, California. 7-1-6 on the season as they put a ball to the right back on the overlap. Here comes a cross in on the ground. Heel flick by the number 6 is not going to get through. Rather, the shot that came from it did not get through. Here's an attempt for the right corner from the left side. First shot of the day. It does not end up on frame.
Shot by number 23, Evelyn Albor.
And that off the boot of Evelyn Albor.
Outside the far post.
I believe it was the 13, Taylor Rapis, who met the heel flick from De Benedetto. And fired that one goalward. That was blocked by the DVC defensive line. It came free on that left side to Albor, and she tried to scoop a ball for the top right corner. Didn't have quite enough bend on it, though. Your score remains 0-0 for the time being here in minute number 8. Sierra on the attack again, but Maila Hicks looking to shepherd that over the back line, and it does go just before the arrival of the on-rushing Wolverine. Tried to cross it in front, but it was over the back line already. Vikings hoping that if they can keep this game close, maybe this is one where some of those bounces that seem to have gone the wrong way for the last, month and a half might go the other. DVC, as a result of being in a conference like the Big 8, even at this point, even with 11 games winless, you get hot at the right time, you've still got a shot at making the NorCal playoffs, especially with the Big 8 tournament around the corner. In that case, whether you win your first game decides the level of opposition you might be facing later on. DVC with a takeaway in the Sierra defense, and here's Trujillo going route one looking for Suhani Singh. She goes down under the challenge of Ashanti Madrigal, but the ball was already gone. She is on the deck though, and it does look like Mr. Pulver is going to bring things to a stop to check on Suhani. It's a meeting of the nines as the Sierra left back collided with DVC's center forward and leading scorer, Suhani Singh, 19-year-old sophomore out of Northgate, 10 goals this season. All of those came, though, in the first 6 games of the year, 3 against De Anza, 4 against Woodland, and then a goal each against Chabot, Cañada, and West Valley. Trainers are out to check on Suhani, who may have taken a blow to the head in that challenge. In the meanwhile, we will give you a quick look at other things that are going to be, at things around the Big 8 conference. That's a look at the standings. Sierra, after the draw earlier this week, had their lead closed up to just a single point on Folsom Lake, who had the 3-0 victory over DVC. Today, Folsom is at home against San Joaquin Delta, that game kicking off right alongside us. Santa Rosa, meanwhile, on the road earlier this afternoon at Sacramento City. We'll see if we can get a result for that game when we reach the halftime break. I have my guess about the result. The only question really is going to be the scoreline on that one. But if that goes the way we would expect, that would put Santa Rosa on 12 with a match in hand on Sierra, who would be at 11. So far, the tendency towards the occasional draw has left Sierra College maybe not quite as far ahead of the pack as you might expect, although on the power points, there's no denying them. 2.457, their average coming into play today, and so despite having 5 fewer wins than Folsom Lake, the level of opposition they've been playing puts them number 1 in Northern California right now. You see there the Big 8 with a monopoly on the odd numbers so far. Folsom currently number 3, Santa Rosa 5, Modesto 7, CRC 9, and Delta 11. American River lurking just outside the field, and DVC hoping to make a late run. Suhani Singh leaves with the trainer on the cart. She was at least sitting up, but it's going to be the 16, Callista Rubel, who enters in her place. Stoppage of about 2 to 3 minutes here, so we'll expect to see that made up on the other end. Just a little over 11 minutes gone here from Rockland. Sierra College with 1 shot taken, right? I suppose 2. You might assume that the Rapice one was going to be on goal. I don't know if the official score has recorded that as such. Okay, that was my guess as well. Blocked at point blank range. So 2 shots so far for Sierra. Seen them also caught offside once. And they currently possess in the defensive third. Now in the middle, and now looped over the left side in search of the run of the 13, Taylor Rapice. Rapice occupying the left side of this midfield at the moment, or perhaps more the center attacking mid position, and just swung over to the left right now because that's where the ball is. Throw in knocked down by the head of Angelina Kazanek. Worked towards the edge of the 18, poked away for a moment by DVC. Now back to Rapice. Looking for Albor leaking out over on the left side. Albor versus Esquivias again. She'll leave that for Kazanek at the byline, tries to drop it back, and Esquivias intercepts. Up ahead here for Sierra Rosemont. Slides that to the feet of Carol and looks to take some space, and now looks to spring Casey Trujillo, who's got a step on Madrigal right now. Trujillo nearing the edge of the 18, about 5 yards outside of it. 2 defenders collapse to her. She'll square that up for Carol. Has it on her foot. Spins around the arrival of a defender. Ruiz is going to try to hoof one in the direction of Rubel. Well deflected by the 21, Josie Young. And that'll carry straight to the keeper, Hannah Andresen. Sophomore out of Oakmont. Last season, just 6 appearances. This year has started all 11 games to this point, and now make it 12. .54 the goals against average. My correction there, has not started every game. Josie Young has a pair of them as well. Here's a ball reflected from the midfield. Esquivias in pursuit, and that'll be kicked away. I believe again by Ashanti Madrigal. Throw in to come here for the Vikes in the 3-quarter zone. That throw in here, or rather, excuse me, it's Sierra ended up getting that throw in, claimed by Madrigal, but the ball put into the center to Choco. A nice little spin to get around the arrival of Mercado. De Choco to the right side, splitting a channel, looking for Esquivias. Right edge of the box. Madrigal has got position, and she will look to shepherd it over the line. Esquivias has it, squares it up for Ruiz. The shot blocked by a Sierra defender. Ruiz looked to take that one out of the sky, didn't get enough power behind it to beat the Wolverine defender, but the Vikings put their first shot in the direction of Andresen's cage and look to announce their intentions here in Rockland. Ball at the back of the center circle on the foot of Josie Young. Puts it to the right side where Rodas will take it away from De Benedetto. Her clearance, though, out the far sideline for a throw. That'll allow time for a pair of substitutions. Isabella Fraser, the 4, and Allison Dennett, the 16, coming in. I think we had Dennett originally on the starting lineup that we got. It appears that Albor was in there in her place.
Alina Rodriguez now in for the Vikings.
For the Vikes, you hear it from Sierra's public address man here that Alina Rodriguez has come into the match. Looks as though she has taken off Esquivias, who has done quite a bit of galloping on both sides of the field. All of it on the right side of DVC's formation, but goal line to goal line, she has been very busy and very quick. Speaking of quick, my goodness, hitting the turbo boost is the number 6 De Benedetto. Managed to get by Rodas, but that's cleaned up here by Ella De Choco. Ball thrown into the feet of Caitlin Myers, a 22. Ball cleared by DVC, and a touch from Rubel for a moment just about gave Rodriguez a chance to get onto that ball, taken away by the Sierra defense, and it is now Myers drifting out to the right side and loses the handle in front of Cristobal Rodas. And a throw in here to come. That one prolonged up the sideline by the head of a Sierra player. Wolverines, of course, destined to extend a streak to 15 consecutive postseason appearances, barring utter disaster, dating back to the start of Jason Gantt's tenure in 2009. Got one Final Four appearance, that in 2012. They, like the Vikings, lost in the Final Four to Cerritos College. Interestingly, that was the semifinal in the year that the Falcons won the first of their 5 consecutive state titles. DVC, the team beaten in the final when they claimed their 5th. There's a ball lost in the midfield here by the 21 Josie Young, and Alina Rodriguez had a player on her back, and she decides to fire from about 35 to 40 yards. No problem there for Andresen. Didn't have a whole lot of support there, so hoping for a touch of magic at that moment. Nothing doing. Ball on the foot of the newly inserted Fraser. She's installed herself, it would appear, as the left back. Dennett as the left center back, and that's what's allowed Caitlin Myers to go forward. She started out as one of the defenders, but is now up here as a right wing. She is fed in this moment. Now by the corner flag, gets a cross in despite 2 DVC players in her vicinity, reflected by the first line of defense of DVC, and now well prolonged by Callista Rubel to keep Sierra from cleaning up the garbage and looking for a long shot on the second action. Ninkovic, Hicks, back to Mila. Mila and Maila. Bit of a tongue twister over there on the left side. Mila is bottled up by Fraser at the sideline. The ball stays in on the deflect. Quick touch from Mercado, back to Fraser on the long overlap. Here comes a cross in toward the 6, and that'll be claimed by Denise Correa, a little too close to the Viking keeper. Denise in athletic gold over black and black. Didn't give you the goalkeeper kit descriptions earlier. Hannah Andresen also yellow over black, but it is a very different yellow, a highlighter yellow, an eye-scalding yellow. And her socks as well in that bright yellow color. Vikings will be hoping to help Hannah Andresen get that bright yellow jersey just a little bit dirtier by the end of this game, obviously. Ball up the right side, knocked away by Ella DeChoco. Throw in to come from about 35 yards shy of the byline. Quickly taken, and from the right side, it's a cross in looking for Kazanek on 2 hops. Correa out to claim it. Just a yard or 2 inside her 6. 2 decent looks for Sierra, but the crosses have been just a bit too close to the number 0 for the DVC Vikings. Last 2 Tuesdays have been glorious for Denise Correa. 18 saves against San Joaquin Delta in a clean sheet. 11 saves on Tuesday despite the 3-0 defeat to Folsom. They earned 2 of those goals. She did have one that got by on the slightest of deflections. She'll think she should have done better, but those can take you anywhere. Ball forward here from Callista Rubel in search of Casey Trujillo. That is cut off. Casey unable to quite corral it. Reflected ball nearly claimed by Alina Rodriguez. Back now to the center back, Stella Grace Tamayo. Tries for a ball into the right channel. That'll split Mercado and Sisto. Nothing doing. Certainly not a new thing to see a number of players on a Jason Gant roster capable of playing in a variety of positions. DVC have done a little bit of that this season, but more often than not by necessity. Two players have suffered season-ending injuries. We mentioned Marina earlier, Lily Underwood earlier, Marina Ognian as well with a broken clavicle a couple of weeks ago.
Come on, Sisto.
Olivia Sisto puts that over the top in search of the 13 inside Rapice. It will be kept in play, however, by Kazanek, but she was in an offside position when the original ball was played from Sisto. More substitution time here for Mr. Gant, although it's going to have to wait. Apparently didn't get them away in time. Looks like it's going to be Riley Allred and Riley Hyde. DVC take a ball away in the defense, but Sofia Lopez Real first touch after receiving the pass from Sierra Rosemont. Doesn't stick to her foot. She does well, though, in pursuit of Olivia Sisto, and in fact earns DVC a throw. Now it'll be time for the substitution, and the 2 new players, the 2 new Rileys.
The Wolverines
Allred the 12 and Hyde the 5 are going to enter the fray here for Sierra.
Number 5, Riley Hyde, and number 12,
Hyde.
Riley Allred.
Hyde with a pronounced wrap on her right upper arm. By this point in the season, of course, just about everybody playing with some manner of, if not injury, at least nick that is irritating them day in, day out. Carol Esquivias into the game here for the green and white. Alina Rodriguez currently in possession of the ball, tries to slide that into place for Ruiz. Picked off though by Allred. First touch of the game for her. Sofia Lopez Real is taking the long walk around to leave the encounter in place of Esquivias. Carol stations herself at the left side. DVC able to resist the initial attempt at an attack. Couple of touches on a Route 1 ball. Vikings repel it again. Defense has looked relatively solid here through the first half of the half. 22 minutes, 30 seconds gone, 22:30 left to play. Plus likely a little added back on for the Suhani Singh injury, hoping to see her back in action in the near future. At the moment, Alina Rodriguez appears to be playing behind a three-woman attacking midline of Esquivias on the left, Rubel in the center, and Trujillo on the right. We'll see if that is the correct read as the formation and the rest of the half continues onward. Ball up the right side is well overcooked and will go over the back line here. DVC with a goal kick to come.
Goal kick for the Vikings.
And good news for DVC fans as Suhani Singh will be coming back in and is taking off Alina. Good to see that Suhani appears to be in decent shape. For the Vikings, we mentioned the isolated striker at the moment with Trujillo a bit deeper lying in what appears to be a right wing position. Could also just simply be a 4-3-3 with those two lying back just a little. Rubel playing in the midfield with Ruiz and Rosemont in a 3R midfield. Just one of them rolled. As Sierra claim a ball in that midfield, and Milaninkovic steps up from right back and cranks it into the right side. Nobody moving into that space for DVC. Throw in to come here for the Wolverines. Quick look at the upcoming calendar here for DVC. This, as we mentioned, the last scheduled road match for the Vikings, although they will quite certainly be on the road in the first round of the Big 8 tournament on the 8th of November. Before that, 2 home games next week, Sac City, Santa Rosa, Tuesday and Friday, both at 3:30. We hope you'll join us for those games in person, but if you can't, of course, the live stream's always here for you. DVC taking a ball away in the defense. Forward for Rosemont, her ball towards Trujillo, cut off by the defense of Riley Allred. Singh trying to sit in a passing lane as the 16 Dennett moves the ball amongst the defensive mid and the center backs. On the foot of Tamayo right now. Her ball forward in the direction of De Benedetto. First touch, bit too heavy. Carries it straight out of play at the side or at the midfield stripe. Throw in for DVC from that far sideline, brought down by Rubel and then lost. Looking for a quick 1-2 here are the number 6 De Benedetto and the 5 Hyde. She receives a ball now about 2 yards outside the box on the right side, unable to do much of anything with it. Slide challenge from Rosemont takes the ball away. She hoofs it forward. DVC unable to keep it. Knocked back into an attacking position by Fraser, and it's now Kazanek trying to take on Ninkovic. That is a very Slavic-sounding battle right there. Kazanek, Ninkovic. To find out whether, we already know Ninkovic does not say it as Ninkovic. Appears to be a goal kick here as the last touch, or rather a, yeah, there it is. There's the goal kick. Final touch coming off of the 11 in black and pink. Vikings will take it short and look to build out of the back. Maila Hicks with Kazanek crashing in on her. Tries to feed Ninkovic with the outside of the boot. Nothing doing. Throw in for Sierra College. Quickly taken to the feet of the 5 Hyde. Hicks steps up and takes it away. Up ahead now for Trujillo. Casey has Suhani moving into space and looks to loop one around the defender Dennett. Dennett does get a touch to it. It looks like it last came off of Suhani and carries over the back line. That's an unfortunate result for Suhani, who had done some good work to get the position and chase that ball down. But Dennett's attempted clearance deflected straight out, and it'll be a goal kick here, taken short by the center of the Sierra defense. Drop back to Andresen. 27 saves on the season for Andresen for an .818 save percentage. Sierra College, not a team that's going to overwhelm you with their scoring, but they have been an absolute lockbox on defense. 8th best goals against average in the state of California. Here's Trujillo, though, taking a ball away. Forward for Singh. Couldn't quite get the touch to it, and it's cut off. Clearance, though, only as far as Ruiz. Tries to load up a shot. Needed 2 touches to do it. Gave the defender enough time to get back to the ball. Looped forward and claimed by DeChoco, looking to resist the arrival of Riley Hyde, the transfer from Santa Barbara City. Forward for Kazanek, tries a little move to cut it inside Ninkovic, but that leads her straight into Sierra Rosemont, as opposed to a Sierra teammate. Ball forward here to 3 runners, and it's a foot race between Rodas and the number 6, who is denied by Denise Correa at full stretch right at the penalty dot. It was Kira De Benedetto, who was the last of 3 flooding forward for the Sierra Wolverines on that opportunity. It was a ball looped forward from the left side of the midfield towards the right side of the half moon, coming off the boot of Isabella Fraser. And it was De Benedetto that got onto it, had 1 touch as she was in battle with Cristabel Rodas. And then it was Correa who came out and smothered it at her feet on the second bite at the apple. DeChoco takes the ball away on the throw-in. We have here a throw quickly whistled for Sierra on the left side of the attacking area. This one floated in again, and Correa will again beat De Benedetto to it. Denise so far yet to have to make an official save, but has absolutely saved the Vikings bacon, and it sounds as though our official scorer did give her one on the earlier play, the De Benedetto smothering. That first touch may well have been on frame. It certainly felt like a save.
It felt like a save.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
No argument from me. She has been racking them up.
Yeah.
Nearing the final quarter of an hour of action from Rockland in this first half. We remain scoreless here at Sierra. Trujillo unable to claim the ball here in the midfield. Taken by Fraser for a moment, but her ball forward cut off by Hicks, and now it's Fraser getting to take it away from Maila, and Maila getting stuck in and taking it away. Now she works forward into the center stripe area. Leaves that for Ruiz so she can adopt her proper position. Her ball forward in the direction of Singh, cut off there by Allred. As Aaliyah Ellis, the 27, who came in at the last break, lurks in the area. Throw in coming in a moment here for Sierra. From this near sideline, defensive half to the feet of Ellis. She can't handle it. DVC will take the throw. It appears Sofia Lopez-Real back in. She will take off the number 8, Milaninkovic. We'll see if that means Sofia's going back into that right back position she played most of the first half of the season. She puts this throw to the feet of Trujillo, tries to feed Singh once, came back to Casey, tries again. Suhani now in battle on the right side and loses the ball out into touch. Last touched by the 9 in white. Throw in, batted away immediately by Sierra Rosemont. Wolverines will take it again. Oof, Rosemont has the opposing 13 go right through her back on that throw-in. Nothing given here for Mr. Pulver. Sofia Lopez-Real going up against Aaliyah Ellis. Ball nearly takes off Rosemont's head. Brought down by Rubel, trying to go route 1 for Singh. Diana Ruiz in the area to clean it back up. Rubel still on it. Resists one challenge, pushes through a second, but the ball runs away from her just a little bit. Slide challenge from Rosemont, takes it away from Ellis. Clean as a whistle. Up the right side in search of Trujillo. Little too deep. That'll go over the back line, and at the moment, Rosemont a little slow to rise back to her feet.
After number 7, Giselle Mercado returns.
Meanwhile, Mercado back into the match. She stations herself up at the center of the attack, directly between DeChoco and Hicks. Bracketed at the moment by De Benedetto on the right and Kazanek on the left. With the number 13, Taylor Rapice, in the attacking mid-roll. She's making the deep run here as Kazanek tracks back for the ball just behind the midfield stripe, receiving that from her defense. Moved over to the left wing, Fraser. It's been the left back ever since she came in at about the 15-minute mark. Puts the ball forward. DVC got a touch, but it's now into the left wing. In search of Rapice. Rapice gets around Hicks for a moment. Look to cut it toward the right, then gets it on her left, puts in the cross. That is going to be a header knocked down by De Benedetto and into the hands of Denise Correa. Denise's drop kick claimed by Esquivias. Did well to use her body there against a midfielder, and now takes a ball away from Riley Allred, front of the center circle, trying to split two defenders and find Trujillo leaking out. Instead, it's going to be Casey pursuing Fraser, putting on pressure. The ball's out the sideline. Throw in to come in the attacking third for the green and white on the right side. Ninkovic back into the game for the Vikes right away.
Ninkovic returns for the Vikings.
We'll see where DVC elect to go on this throw. Appears to be Casey Trujillo leaving the field at this point. Throw in to come as Callista Rubel is showing for it. She will receive it at the edge of the 18, trying to spin around the arrival of Rapice. Keeps the ball. Lopez Real cross into the 18, looped with a near overhead kick by Suhani Singh. She had her back to goal, hit it with her left foot, or right foot rather, directly over her own head. Andresen gets to it. Vikings with a shot on goal on that trip down. 34th minute, still 0-0 here. Rodas in pursuit right now of De Benedetto. Puts in a cross that's going to be met by Kazanek near the penalty dot. Has to run in retro to retrieve it, and her attempt to feed the 7 Mercado cut off and cleared by Maila Hicks. Coming right back on the right side, another cross, but that one is too direct and over the back line, wide right of Correa's goal. Opportunities at both ends. We said it 10 days ago in the game against San Joaquin Delta. You watch this and tell me that a 0-0 game is boring. And I will tell you, if you say such things, that you're dead inside. Ball worked forward by Sierra. Good defense of it by the number 7 Mercado. Lays it to the left side. Now brought in back to her. Closing to that is DeChoco. Hicks gets a touch to it. Ball still in the 18. Sliding challenge by Lopez Real. A little risky, but gets it to Ninkovic, who clears it towards Rubel. She tries to hoof it forward. Riley Allred able to smother that, though, and Sierra look to rebuild, and Ninkovic looks to take it away. Vikings have been in passing lanes all day, although on this one right here, Ruiz doesn't quite read Esquivias. She took off. Ruiz knocked it behind her. Sierra looked to go up the right side, but cut off at the first opportunity. Falls to the 22 Myers. Puts it out wide to the right side, looking for Sisto, and that is mishandled and out for a Viking throw. Inside the final 10. A leaping effort to maintain the ball on the throw-in by Esquivias. She puts it up the left side for Rodas, but a little bit too far in front of her. Christabel, the transfer out of Pacific Union, into a slide, but couldn't keep it in play in front of the assembled Sierra faithful. Of course, over the course of the second half, we'll be telling you about other things going on in DVC athletics in our standard Around the Horn coverage. We hope you'll stay tuned for both the second half of action and that little news brief that you always get here on DVC Vikings Live Radio. Vikings launch it up the left side. Sierra able to manage it, get it into the hands of their defense. Andresen for a moment, and now looped forward by the right back. Cut off there by Rodas at the midfield stripe. Her ball forward reflected by Sierra. Throw in to come from the midfield stripe. For DVC, we've already seen Alina Rodriguez into the game and Callista Rubel, the only other player available off the bench, the 21, Hannah Walden. Ball put into the middle, a little long for Sierra Rosemont at the back of the center circle, but Callista Rubel comes over to clean things up. Leaves that for Ninkovic with a bunch of space up the right side, tries to loop a ball into the sideline area. That is met by Lopez Real. Her cross knocked down with a chest by a Sierra player. Drops it back to a defender. It is out the back, and it'll be DVC's first corner kick.
She dropped that ball in on the line.
And a corner kick for
Bit of a giveaway there as Sierra just unable to handle the cross in from the right side from Lopez Real. It's going to be Carol Esquivias to put this one in. 2 Sierra Wolverines at the near post. Sofia Lopez Real lurking. 3 DVC Vikings make it 4 just inside the half moon. Sierra Rosemont at the far post. Here's the ball in. Gets through Singh. Comes to Callista Rubel, who hits it first time. Unable to feed anybody with it, though. Here's Ruiz shooting from distance. Knocked away by Sierra and claimed by De Benedetto. Unable to hold it under the pressure of Ninkovic. DVC will get a throw in here, but Callista Rubel had the attempted shot there, just smothered at her feet. And Diana Ruiz has got a little bit more travel. So Trujillo back into the game for DVC. She takes off Rubel. We also saw, I believe, the first entry of the 10 on Sierra's side, Gisela Ponce. Appears to be installing herself potentially as the center forward. Ball rattling around on the right side of DVC's attack and out the back for a goal kick. So far, just a handful of shots on goal per side. I'm not sure we've had much in the way of any fouls whistled, to my recollection. It's been a rather clean game, a handful of slide tackles, and Sierra Rosemont responsible for several of those as she receives the ball right now from Ella DeChoco. Sees Cristabel Rodas with a ton of space, and that's the sort of pass DVC have not been making the last couple of games. They've been a little too attached to the first option, the closest option. They've gotten predictable, and teams like Folsom Lake have easily picked those passes off. Today, you just saw Ella DeChoco get her head up and find Cristabel Rodas in some space through a couple of defenders. That is a very encouraging sign for the Vikings getting right and installing themselves maybe a little bit more in the middle of this Big 8 table in terms of quality as opposed to the bottom that they've occupied since that season opening loss to American River. Ball up the right side. Kira De Benedetto drops it back for Myers. In pursuit here is Carol Esquivias going up against her opposing 17, Olivia Sisto. Sierra keep the ball here on a throw-in as we approach the final 5 minutes of first half action. Thrown back to Myers. Just inside the far sideline. Myers receives from Sisto, working on the right side. Rodas on her, trying to body her up, unable to earn the corner. She'll now put it back out, and a looping ball from the right side is going to be wide of the right post off the boot of Kira De Benedetto. Tried for a little bit of a mini chip, trying to see if she could loop it to the top corner and catch Denise Correa sleeping from just outside the 18-yard box. Nothing doing. It remains 0-0. Sierra Rosemont, the bit of a giveaway here as she serves it towards the sideline in search of Esquivias. Luckily, though, Cottle has been an absolute demon in terms of taking balls off of Sierra players today. She manages to clean that up herself. It's now on the foot of Ninkovic. Finds DeChoco. Looking for Trujillo. Pressure comes from Allred. Trujillo will drop it back to Mila. Over the top looking for Fraser, who reaches out and pokes it into her own bench. Throw in for DVC from about 10 yards shy of the midfield stripe. Yeah, maybe make it 15. Mila to the body of Sofia Lopez Real. Loses that out of play. Sierra quickly take the throw in. Kazanek to the body of Ponce. Good pressure from Hicks. Forces an errant pass to Sofia Lopez Real, and she'll bank that off Fraser for a DVC throw at the midfield stripe. Right side of the midfield right now for the green and white. Ninkovic finds Trujillo. Casey, under a little bit of pressure, drops it back to DeChoco. And now she goes over the top in search of the speed of Lopez Real. She's gotten herself just off the hip of Fraser. Works it to the right side of the box. Crosses that up against Fraser. It is out for a second Viking corner kick.
And another corner kick for the Vikings.
DVC have managed to possess today and create chances, and dead balls are one of their specialties. They'll set it up again. Rosemont far post. Lopez Real right on the keeper. And it's 4 at the half moon. Rubel, Trujillo, DeChoco, and Singh. DeChoco makes an aggressive run towards the near post. The ball is going to float towards the dot. Met by one defender. Trujillo takes it first time from just behind the top of the box. And it's going to go high and wide off the boot of the Viking captain. And the goal kick is going to go straight to Carol Esquivias. Lays it back for Ruiz. Almost wrong-footed. Diana able to keep it. Rosemont over to the left side. One touch from Esquivias in the direction of Singh. Reaches a Sierra player who clears it off of Singh. Now Sierra possessed at the midfield stripe. Ponce lays it back. Looks for Kazanek on a run, but instead she'll feed the right side for Myers. Up ahead now for the 10, Gisela Ponce. At the byline, taken away by Maila Hicks. Pushed back up the right side. Now it's Caitlin Myers. I think beforehand it was De Benedetto. Here's a cross in towards the top of the 6, and yet again, alert to it. You get too close to her zone. Denise Correa, very sure-handed. Clock has come to a stop here on DVC Vikings Live Radio. 2 minutes to go. As we mentioned, likely to have a few minutes added back on for the injury to Suhani Singh about 15 minutes in, but she is apparently none the worse for it. Hesitation dribbling. Kazanek's going to fire for the top corner, and DVC have given up a goal here in late first half action, and it's Angelina Kazanek.
Goal for the Wolverines.
Now sailing up to the lead in goals for this Wolverines side. She makes it 1-0 here in minute number 44, and DVC, they call it in Italy the beffa, la beffa. It's a cruel joke played on someone. DVC have looked so very, very good, but yet trail now 1-0 due to that goal in the very late going 44th minute. It is Kazanek. 2 minutes remaining here in first half action, as apparently the goal kick taken incorrectly.
The kickoff, she double touched it.
Oh boy. So a illegal procedure basically on the kickoff, and DVC with the giveaway straight to Sierra on an indirect free kick. They possess for about 5 seconds, and then the Vikings take it back. Singh across the midfield stripe finds Sofia Lopez Real. DVC will look for a quick reaction to really change the feel of the halftime break. Lopez Real works her way through Fraser, looking to put in a cross. This is on the ground, popped up in the air by a defender. Trujillo in pursuit, but it's going to be Myers that gets to it first. Ball taken away here at the front of the center circle. Hicks is going to put a foot through it. A little over ambitious from about 35 yards out. Easy prey for Andresen. Vikings have stood toe-to-toe so far with Sierra. It has not looked like the kind of scoreline or the kind of stat line that we've seen in games against Delta or Folsom, where DVC have been outshot by something like 12.5 to 3. So far today, they've created just about as much as Sierra, but it is Kazanek who's taken the full advantage, and DVC looking to avoid the double befa as Cristabel Rodas slide challenge to take it away from De Benedetto. Likely something like 45 seconds left at this point for Mr. Pulver's watch, maybe 30. Ball taken away here at the edge of the 18 from underneath Sierra Rosemont. Sierra College nearly with an opportunity at the edge of the 18, but Mila Ninkovic comes away with it. Now leaves that for Trujillo. See if DVC look to author one last attack. This ball forward to the chest of Singh, put out by Fraser. Throw in to come here for a moment for Mila Ninkovic. has Lopez Real in that corner. We'll see if she goes there or back to Trujillo. Singh also now rushing in to show for it. Goes up the right side for Singh. Ball's out, though, off the 9 in white, and it'll be a throw-in for Sierra as they author a substitution. Valeria Casares in for her first action. Likely to be rather brief here as we approach the final drops of first half action. A check of the watch for Mr. Pulver. Awaiting the Sierra throw-in. Actually comes to Sierra Rosemont. Ninkovic back towards Hicks, gets under her foot, but DeChoco's got it. Cuts neatly inside the pressure of De Benedetto. Forward now for Trujillo. Couldn't quite get a touch to it. Had Singh on a run. Also had a little bit of daylight in front of her to look for one of those classic Casey Trujillo bangers. Nothing doing, though. Lopez Real takes a ball away under pressure from Casares, and that is going to do it for our first half. So the action, by and large, even on both sides, and for the 15th time in the last 17 meetups between these sides, one team goes in either up a goal or level. And so a close one here. DVC will be looking for what could be a valuable road point in terms of the power points when we come back in about 15 minutes. But those 15 minutes, as always, belong to Dave Hughes and the Beat of Diablo. A little bit of local music for you here as we go to the break. Your score through 45, Sierra 1, DVC 0.
This is Dave Hughes, and you're listening to select cuts from my weekly show, The Beat of Diablo, here on DVC Vikings Live Halftime. If you want to hear more local music, tune in this Sunday and every Sunday at 7 p.m. to Concord's iconic student-built 90.5 KVHS, Concord Rock City.
Welcome back, folks, to Rockland, California. Joe Hickey with you from the campus of Sierra College. Joined or flanked on my sides here, albeit without microphones that are plugged into my system, by Janice Herder, our scorekeeper, and Willie Preston, the PA voice here at Sierra. Two of them, I'm just delighted by the hospitality, showing me where everything is, thank heavens. Needed to get ourselves some water, needed to take care of some things that, crop up as necessities after a 2-hour, 20-minute drive. Had to take care of some business. So we're good to go now, and a look at what's coming up this weekend at DVC before we get underway in second half action. Of course, tomorrow, the 11 a.m. Saturday DVC 75th anniversary alumni tailgate. That in preparation for the 1 p.m. football kickoff. There's also going to be a moment to honor the members of the DVC Athletics Hall of Fame in attendance at that game at the halftime break of it. So looking forward to seeing a few of the 2016 DVC Vikings women's soccer team who were inducted into that Hall of Fame a few years back. Hoping to see a few of them. And then as for the rest of DVC athletics here, Cabrillo is in town at men's water polo. That will be having its opening swim off in about 23 minutes. That coming at 5 p.m. today, and then an hour after that, volleyball is at Sacramento City, just a little ways away from here. Cross-country idle today and this weekend, but take note, next Wednesday in Martinez at Hidden Valley Park, they will be hosting the Big 8 Championship race. They hosted the Big 8 preview a little while ago. So we look forward to that. DVC over the ball at midfield as we get ready to bring the second half into motion. Vikings trailing 1-0, a goal off the boot of Angelina Kazinek from an assist from Gisela Ponce. That coming in the 44th minute. As we called it, as I continue to teach you little Italian phrases, because that's where I learned all my soccer, the beffa, the cruel joke. You've played a full half of head-to-head action, kept it rather level. The stat line certainly tells that tale. Sierra outshooting the Vikings just 8-6, 4-2 in shots on goal, but all that matters is which ones hit the twine, and Sierra College getting that done in the late going, and they lead 1-0 as we are back underway here on the campus of Sierra College, and Maila Hicks defending on the right side of DVC's defense. They give up a throw-in after the ball's knocked away. That taken to the body of, I believe, the number 7. DiBenedetto is going to fire, and she has scored another one, and it's on the opposite side of halftime. And Sierra College make it 2 moments after the restart. I believe that was the number 7, Giselle Mercado, that put that ball in from the left side. I could be wrong, but that was the best of my recollection. But Kira DiBenedetto on the strike. And Sierra make it 2-0 here in the 46th. And it's always the strange thing here. It looks like those goals happened back-to-back in the span of a couple of minutes, but of course there was a whole break in between. And DVC on either side of halftime have done the two things that have plagued them a bit this season, which are give up a goal right before the half and then give up something right after the restart. And I don't know that they've had too many games where they've done both of those, but today that's what's happened. And just like that, Sierra make that advantage a bit more concrete. 5th shot on frame and 3 saves for Denise Correa on the day, but those two getting by her, and DiBenedetto doing well to fire that ball from the left side of the box, maybe about 8 yards away, or rather 12 yards away from the byline. Pushed out wide left, went for the top left corner and beat Correa there. So the Vikings will look to rebuild. We mentioned beforehand, Sierra, this state's draw specialists. No one has more than their 6. But DVC are going to have some offensive work to do if they want to try and hold the Wolverines to that. Throw in taken to the body of Riley Allred, the 12. Exchanges that with Myers. Ball forward is intercepted by Rosemont and hoofed forward. Alina Rodriguez starts the half for DVC at the top of the attack. Appears to be Esquivias and Lopez Real on either side of her. Trujillo and Rubel at the front of the midfield with Rosemont at the back of it. Ninkovic, Hicks, DeChoco, and Rodas, your defense from left to right. And it's going to be Sierra moving their way towards the edge of the 18-yard box. A ball squared up here for the 13, and another attempt at a lob over the top. But this one will go high. Taylor Rapice, scorer of the goal that equalized against CRC 20 minutes from time 3 days ago. In search of that top half of the goal, top third of the goal. It is such a challenge to cover. Vikings lucky to still be just 2 goals down here. Sierra Rosemont claims the ball, mishandled in the Sierra attack. Rubel trying to feed Esquivias, unable to do so, cut off. And up from the back surges Madrigal. Centrally for All Red. Back to Madrigal, about 30 yards from goal, slightly pushed out to the right. She looks to feed the 17 Sisto up that right side. In combat with Rodas, loses the ball out for, I believe, a throw. Tough to tell from here.
I didn't see the assist on Kira's goal.
Here comes the ball in off the throw-in, headed across the 6-yard box. Fizzing through there, but nobody gets the decisive touch to it. Stays with Sierra now on the left side of their attack. And now moved back to the center circle to Ashanti Madrigal. Freshman defender out of Sutter. Moves it to the left side. Held there by Tamayo. Casey Trujillo applies a little pressure on a ball forward. Forced back to Madrigal, now going wide right for Sisto again. Rodas chases her back. Back to the feet of Madrigal. And back again into the defense. Allison Dennett. Forward in search of the 22. Caitlin Myers taken away by Rubel. And she looks to find Sofia Lopez Real in a little bit of space. Closing to her is the 11 Kazanek, scorer of today's first goal. Forces Lopez Real into retro, and she'll dump it back to Maila Hicks. DVC look for more open pastures, and they find it with Ella DeChoco here just behind the center stripe. Ella will surge forward into that space. Now squares it in the direction of Alina Rodriguez, who cannot resist the challenge of Dennett. And now Sierra look for the counter strike. The ball forward initially for Ponce. Dropped it back. The ball forward again for Ponce, briefly intercepted by Ninkovic, but has friends there to maintain possession. Myers just to the left of the center circle. Brought back to Tamayo. Has the triangle on the left side, trying to push it into space for a run for Ponce. That's cleared away by Hicks, and that'll be out for a Sierra throw just in front of the snack hut.
Did Kira have an assist from again?
Throw in is batted up in the air here. Casey Trujillo absorbs contact and picks up what I believe might be the first foul against Sierra today. There have not been many whistles from Mr. Pulver. So am I hearing, do we have an assist on the earlier goal?
Yes.
Ponce again?
Taylor Rapice.
Oh, Taylor Rapice, the 13. Okay. Yeah, I suppose my guess was no good because I don't think she's out there. But silver numbers at a distance in a setting sun are a bit of a challenge, and
That's right.
Janice and I both well aware of that and asking for assistance. Her from the coaches, me from her. We got it put together here, though, now. Kazanek from Ponce, and now De Benedetto from Rapice. 2-0 your score line here. 7 minutes gone in this second half, and here's a ball as a player has gotten off the shoulder of Hicks, but offside is Gisela Ponce as she guides that into the net, but to no avail. Went one-on-one with Correa, but unable to do anything legal from that position. Flag up from Les Miyashiro, who seemed about as surprised as anybody that I remembered who he was when we met up just before kickoff, but you stick around this game for 10 years. Turns out you know a lot of referees by that point. It's a nice touch here by Sofia Lopez Real to put it into space for Rodriguez. Not able to get a touch to it to direct it goalward. held in by Esquivias. Has it poked away by a defender, but it's now Trujillo who comes away with it. Casey spins it around one defender. Now dribbling towards the center of the three-quarter zone. Leaves that for Maila Hicks. Hicks finds the open woman, and it's Esquivias. She's going to take aim at the right corner, but that is going to not have nearly enough juice on it. Rolls to Andresen. DVC's first shot on goal of this second half, third on the game. As we mentioned, they have generally held their own in terms of chance creation in this match. They just have not taken one, as this one's over the top again, looking for the 10. Ponce might have had her in an offside position again, but this time goes straight to Correa. Hear the voice of head coach Jason Gant here at Sierra since 2009 in our microphone. No surprise, a very vocal presence on the sidelines, game in, game out. The coaching never stops. Ball dropped into the back line here by Sierra after DVC got a brief touch. Esquivias is going to block this ball from Ashanti Madrigal. Caro trying to get stuck in, ends up on the deck. Madrigal stands tall and keeps the ball. Tamayo. I didn't mean to rhyme there, but here we are. Ball forward in the direction of Ella DeChoco, batted down by the Vikings' number 23. Worked out to the right wing. Sofia Lopez Real putting light pressure on Dennett out there. It appears she and Tamayo have actually swapped sides in the center back positions. Don't know if that's something regarding the Vikings' presence and who's defending better against whom. Another ball comes loose in the defensive midfield for Sierra, and DVC just unable to quite profit from it. Cleared away here up the near sideline. Cristabel Rodas will put it back into play in just a moment. Throw into the head of Rubel, who gets down into a crouch to head it back behind herself towards Esquivias. Picked up, though, by a Sierra player. Now spinning around is the number 6 De Benedetto. Has one goal today just after the halftime break, and she's now into turbo and has dusted Hicks. She'll go straight at goal to Correa, and Denise gets down to stop it.
Shot by number 6, Sierra De Benedetto for the Wolverines.
Sixth shot of the day coming from the boot of number 6. Sixth shot on goal, I should say. 11th shot, period. Got a stoppage here for perhaps a slight jersey tug or a bit of contact. Oh, actually, it's a drop ball here, not a foul at all. DVC hoof it forward into the attack, batted around by a few heads. Callista Rubel coming in and a bit dangerous there with the high arm. I'm a little surprised that the foul has gone the way of Caitlin Myers. Rough collision there as Rubel went in for that ball, but apparently having won it, judged to have absorbed contact instead of deliver it. And it will be a DVC free kick from about 5 yards across the midfield stripe, pushed out to the left sideline. Just a little bit to the left of the center circle. Rubel, we know, has got a big boot. We'll see if she can set something up. This is flying over the head of the defender, Madrigal. Wide left, and Andresen will pick it up before it goes out of play. We know Rubel's got a big boot, but in that situation there, you really do want to go service. This time she does lay out her opposing player. The center stripe to Benedetto goes down. That, to my recollection, one of, if not the first foul whistled against DVC. Rubel needs to watch herself. It's starting to get a little bit chippy out there for her, and she's already got 3 yellow cards this season. Doesn't want to put herself in danger of a suspension. DVC's roster short enough as it is. Here's a ball forward looking for Ponce. She is offside again, according to Mr. Miyashiro, and that will be the end of that attack as she sprang a run from the edge of the 18-yard box on the left side. Well found by Rapice, but nothing doing. Long ball popped up in the air by the head of a Sierra player. That was Riley Allred. It's now on the foot of the 17, Sisto, trying to beat Rodas up the right side. Throw in to come here for Sierra. Throw is going to lead to a ball to the top of the half moon, fired by Ponce towards the bottom left corner, but Correa with another stop. She had not had a ton to do in the first half. Denise Correa made the 3 saves, but has now recorded for herself another 2 in short order here in the second half. Has been in double figures on stops. Oh, dear heavens, Sierra Rosemont, a rough challenge as she takes out the legs of the number 11 Kazanek, and Sierra Rosemont goes into the book with a yellow card here in minute number 59. That'll be a free kick here from about 10 yards in front of the center circle. Correa puts her wall into place and goes to the left post as the ball is pushed out slightly to the left. 2 in the wall, Rubel and Trujillo, an absolute phalanx of Vikings at the edge of the 18 along with the Wolverines. This ball's going to go direct and it's going to go well over the top. Might have snuck under a second crossbar if there were a goal on top of the goal, but wasted opportunity that time for the Wolverines. Rosemont into the book, and it is Rodriguez coming off. Suhani Singh back in. Sofia Lopez Real will leave for Diana Ruiz. And at least a little surprised, given recent tendencies from the coaching staff, that both Rubel and Rosemont stay out there. That's a handball as it pops up on Olivia Sisto off the goal kick from Denise Correa. Vikings will have a free kick a few yards shy of the midfield stripe. Singh, Rubel, Ruiz, Trujillo, and Esquivias all deep. This ball is met by the head of the Sierra College right side midfielder, and immediately surging forward is the 17, Sisto. Leaves that now for De Benedetto. Looking to work her way through Rosemont and Lopez Real. Ball out, but it's last touched by the woman in black. Throw in DVC. De Benedetto, one of 2 kickbacks or bounce backs this season for Jason Gant's Wolverines. They returned 8 sophomores from last year, but also have Farrah Bender, who is unavailable today, who bounced back from Chico State, and De Benedetto, who went to Pleasant Grove High but spent a year at Soka University. This season, 4 goals and 6 assists coming in, 3 of those coming on opening day in a 4-0 win over Butte. Today, she has struck the goal that has really changed the feel of this encounter for the Vikings. They need something to try to reopen this encounter as the ball's hoofed forward by DVC, brought down neatly by Suhani Singh. She's allowed a little bit of space, and Carol Esquivias trying to get off to a run, looking for Suhani to feed her. Puts it up the left sideline, a little bit too wide, and out for a throw. And Sofia Lopez Real, apparently just a quick talking to and a breather. She'll be right back in the game at the next stoppage that allows it. Madrigal in the defense, puts it all the way over to the left. Sierra looked to build from there. Just across the midfield stripe now. Player fed with her back to goal. Now a ball over the top in search of the runs of Sisto and Myers. Knocked down by Rodas. Requires a second clearance. This one handled by Ruiz. Over to the right side by for Trujillo. She was at the center stripe. Now drops it back to Mila. Now to Maila. Centrally for Rubel. Good talk there as she touches it to where the empty space was. Sierra Rosemont being challenged and thought she was held. Certainly unmoved as Mr. Culver. Rosemont went down there. Easy scoop for Denise Correa as the ball was pushed immediately forward up Route 1. Her drop kick popped up in the air by Diana Ruiz. And again, with a header. Nothing given for an evident handball by Sierra Rosemont. Janice and I both spotted that pretty much immediately, but a few things going at either end here. Ball back in possession of Sierra in their defensive zone, and we'll give you a look at some of what's been going on here in DVC athletics. Vikings water polo, a very productive final home doubleheader of the season. We mentioned the men are having their sophomore day against Cabrillo as this goes out for a Viking throw just in front of us. But in that last doubleheader, sophomore day for the women, women's water polo picked up a 24-10 victory, and Sophia Goodson reached 35 goals on the season with a double hat trick. 3 others reached the 3-goal mark as well: Olivia Sanchez, Chloe Pappas, and Lauren Kagayong. And it was a 7-1 second quarter that created the buffer zone that allowed DVC to really express themselves and ride to the big victory. It's a ball over the top here by the Vikings, reflected by the first line of the Sierra defense. Ruiz keeps it in. Rubel's got it. She's going to take rip from distance, but that is going to fall at a decent height for Andresen. Needed to be a little further to the left and just a bit higher. That will go down as shot on goal number 4 and shot overall number 8 for the green and white, but nothing doing. As for the men, they picked up their second win in a row, and their second win in a row in the Big 8 Conference specifically, building on an 18-17 victory against San Joaquin Delta last week. They picked up a 16-7 victory, that keyed by a 4-0 run of counterattacks in the middle of the second quarter. They put up 4 goals in about 2 minutes following a Santa Rosa timeout. And Thomas Culpo and Keegan Darcy, 4 goals each there, and Rory Murphy, giving up just 2 goals after the halftime break, had 18 total stops as the Vikings go to 9-14 and look to have earned themselves probably the 4th seed in the upcoming Big 8 tournament. Here's a ball over the top, and boy, oh boy, Hicks and Correa, maybe a little bit of miscommunication. Denise came out to get it, but there was Ponce lurking and hoping for any sort of mishandle or to get to it just ahead of the Viking keeper. Nothing doing. So we mentioned men's water polo in action right now, as a matter of fact, at the pool as the ball's brought forward here to Benedetto, trying to spin around to Choco. Ella stands tall, puts it out. Spinning through the arrival of the 11, Kazanek, is Milaninkovic. Her ball forward, though, out into touch for a throw near the snack shack. That brought into the chest now of Ponce. Cleared away, and another throw in to come here. We were mentioning water polo, the men facing off with Cabrillo starting in about 90 seconds. And they'll also have a bit of tournament play next weekend when they go to a NorCal crossover and face off with Aloni and Cabrillo again. But besides that, for them and for the women, the only thing left is the Big 8 tournament coming up November 7th through 9th at the DVC pool, and you'll be able to watch the final day of that, the semifinals on the women's side, both finals, both third place games on DVC Vikings Live. That coming up on Saturday, November 9th, and we hope to have you there for that. If you can't be in Pleasant Hill, make sure you're here. Vikings earn a throw in about 10 yards shy of the midfield stripe. Lopez Real played it off of the 6 to Benedetto. Drop back to Choco. Long ball launched towards Suhani Singh. Can't quite bring it down cleanly, but does now steal it away from a defender and shields it from the arrival of 3 Sierra players. Ruiz gets onto it. Leaves it for Esquivias, dribbling into the center. Tight quarters right now. They've got space on the left side. Can Cottle spot Sophia? She finally does. Sophia now going into the center. She's going to loop one over the top, but nobody quite making that run as tight into the center as they needed. Out comes Andresen. She'll get there before Trujillo. For a few brief moments there, looked like a promising attack for the Vikings off of the Suhani Singh takeaway. Sisto forward, batted away by Rubel here at the near sideline. That's out for a Sierra throw. And it looks like we will see Josie Young back into the game. Young, freshman midfielder out of 12 Bridges, has the distinction as well of having been the only person for Jason Gant's Wolverines to start a game in goal this season. She started 2 of them, picked up a pair of clean sheets. Those coming against Mount Sac and Fresno, 11 saves to her name in a 1-0 victory and a 0-0 draw. Clearance from the 16 Dennett nearly takes off the head of Suhani Singh. Sierra Rosemont stays on the ball. Forward for Esquivias. Tries to cut that around the arrival of a defender. Now puts it centrally looking for Ruiz. Popped up by the Sierra defender. Suhani Singh comes to it. Shows a bit too much of it to the Sierra center back, but Sofia Lopez Real has it. Here comes Sofia. Forward looking for Carol. Trying for the refeed. Ball is out into touch. Last touched by Sierra. Jason Gant disagrees. A shake of the head, but it'll be a Viking throw in, and the substitutions he has queued up are going to have to wait a moment. Aaliyah Ellis, the 27, getting ready to re-enter. Throw in coming. And it's Callista Rubel spinning around, and she puts an arm through the back of Ashanti Madrigal, and again needs to be careful. Callista, somebody who runs that, or very frequently is standing right on that line between forceful and reckless. May have gotten that one wrong, lucky not to go into the book. Free kick taken from just in front of the byline, and Sierra look to build from the back. They will lose out though as Taylor Rapice tries to connect with the left back, Dennett, and can't quite connect. 70th minute here, DVC trail 2-0. Good pressure by the Sierra midfield, takes the ball off of Rosemont. Trying to work forward, Myers has it. Out wide right to Olivia Sisto. Sisto touches that through Carol Esquivias, puts in a cross, deflected by Carol. That should, no, it does not go out of play. Denise Correa able to claim it. Thought we had a Sierra corner kick there, would have been their first of the day. But nothing doing. Also elsewhere in DVC athletics, we've mentioned DVC football, currently ranked 14th in the JCAB poll. They're sitting at 3-3 after falling to number 3 San Mateo on Friday, I believe. They'll look to rebound against San Joaquin Delta from a game in which they lost the turnover battle 3-0. And despite closing to within a field goal late in the third quarter, never got any closer. Callista Rubel with a slide challenge. We've got an injured player here, and the referee is going to bring things to a stop for a Sierra player down and limping, favoring her right leg. Try and get eyes on who that is in just a moment. But she'll be taken off by Riley Hyde, the number 5.
Number 5, Riley Hyde, coming in for the injured Sierra player.
Did not catch what happened over there.
And number
We're also going to see Aaliyah Ellis in just a moment.
Reporting in now for the Wolverines.
We will see who she's taking off in just a moment, the injured Sierra player.
23, Choco also returning for the Vikings.
Particularly obstinate about turning around. It's De Benedetto who comes off injured, the number 6.
23 came in for them.
Or was she already in?
She may have already been in the game. They need to come to this. They should come to here.
Yeah, I know.
So I didn't see anybody.
Sierra in possession as we get the restart here. Again, we hope you'll come on out tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Here's an errant ball back, and Trujillo comes away with it, and DVC with a little bit of space to build a counterattack on the right side. Here's a ball centrally. It's going to find Esquivias after bypassing Ruiz. Esquivias dribbling in retro, looking for someone to feed. Miladinkovic shows for it. DVC pushing forward. Now on the foot of Trujillo. She puts a ball in towards the 18, just over the head of Diana Ruiz. She'll go off in pursuit, though. Chases it down just outside the left edge of the area. Finds Lopez Real, touches that through the aggressive close of a defender. Tries to put one in towards Suhani Singh at the top of the 6, but can't get a touch to it. And it's straight to Hannah Andresen.
Hannah Andresen for your Wolverines.
Sierra possess in the defensive end. Looking to work it over to the left side. As we mentioned, DVC will hope to get the offense healthy in just a few days against Sacramento City, as Riley Hyde looks to spring Olivia Sisto down the right side, a bit too hot, and out for a Viking throw in their defensive third. Awaiting the throw in from here. They'll go to the chest of Callista Rubel. Tries to touch that through the arrival of a defender by going over the top of her. Rubel battling physically there with the 22. Still going at the 9. Ashanti Madrigal puts enough pressure on to force the errant ball forward. That'll go out for a throw, and both teams authoring substitutions, I believe. No, correction, it was a Sierra throw, and it's just one team authoring subs. Now Aaliyah Ellis in, as well as the 23 Evelyn Albor right back into the game. Albor, we mentioned, apparently actually a starter in place of Dennett, who we had on one of the early drafts, it would appear, of the starting lineup. She's back in on the left side. It's Riley Hyde on the ball right now. Rubel, rather hip-to-hip challenge. Doesn't take the ball away, but does force an errant pass later on. Lopez Real comes away with it, looking for Esquivias, but she will instead find the feet of Valeria Casares, who's just come in. Another throw in, repelled by Sierra, this time held in by Casares, battling with Callista Rubel. The ball does go out of play, last touched by Callista, snatched out of her hand by Casares. Oh, in fact, the call is instead for a handball, maybe? No, that's Jason Gant calling for that. It is a throw. It's a little unclear whether Rubel picked the ball up or attempted to pick the ball up before it had actually gone across the white line. Hence the officiating advice offered by the Sierra head honcho. Looking for a diagonal run here. Beautiful ball initially by the number 9, Ashanti Madrigal. Had a great diagonal run from the left side of the center line towards the right side of the penalty area. Didn't quite catch who that was authoring that run from deep. And now as we see the back turn, Riley Allred the one on that run. Sorry, I think Janice was trying to tell me, but I've got my headphones on, so I don't always hear everything that comes out of her. Heel flick. Oh, what a brilliant assist here. They'll try to convert that into a goal, but the other player is offside. Left wing. Ball was served in about 2-3 yards into the 18-yard box, brought down by a Sierra player, and then immediately heel flicked behind her to an onrushing left wing, but she had just gotten off to her run a little quick. Sierra looking for the goal that would remove all doubt. Casares receives it on the right side near the corner flag. Sofia Lopez Real in pursuit. The ball is out. Throw in to come here for DVC. Final quarter of an hour of action today from Rockland, California. Sierra College goals on either side of halftime. 44th minute, Angelina Kazanek. 46th minute, Kira De Benedetto. Your assists coming from Gisela Ponce.
Foul by 22.
And from Taylor Rapice on those, we've got an update for you here. Cosumnes River up 2-0 on ARC in the River Derby, and Folsom Lake have just taken the lead against San Joaquin Delta as the top of the Big 8 table takes shape. We'll take a quick look at that table right now. As it stood at the beginning of action today, you would see Sierra going up to 14, Folsom to 13, Santa Rosa at the moment with 9 despite having one fewer match played. They would be going to 12, assuming that they took care of business in the capital today against Sacramento City at 2 p.m. We don't have a score yet for that one. But if those results all hold, Cosumnes River would also hop over Idle Modesto into 4th place as Modesto take their bye. CRC's already taken their bye. And so an interesting seeding race developing here. Ball worked forward right now. Ella De Choco able to double team the Sierra player alongside Sofia Lopez Real, and it comes free for Esquivias. Carol touches that through the arrival of one defender, but shows a bit too much of it to the woman at the back. Now battling for it, held in play by Sierra's Allison Dennett. Ball taken away for a moment by Rosemont, but Ashanti Madrigal, Johnny on the spot. And another good deep run, this one forward for Aaliyah Ellis. She's onside this time, scoots around Denise Correa, and Aaliyah Ellis has made it 3-0 here in minute number 78.
Riley Hyde.
And the assist on that one courtesy of Riley Hyde. But Aaliyah Ellis with tons of work to do there from that point, but a lot of really good deep runs from Jason Gant's women over the last 5 to 10 minutes, and that third goal has been in the air for a good bit here. DVC will take over. Callista Rubel's body language tells you everything that you need to know right now about the current state of mind for the green and white. Hoofs that one back to Sierra Rosemont on the restart. Very visible frustration. There's a ball taken away here by the 18, Valeria Casares. Sierra maintained possession after a little bit of DVC pressure, now worked over to the right side. Sofia Lopez Real trying to work that away from the Sierra player, but she's the last one to touch it as it goes out in front of the 18 Casares. Madrigal receives the throw in, back behind the center stripe. Work to Madrigal again. Sees yet another bit of mobility. Riley Allred, and it is really Sierra at the moment taking full advantage of the Vikings' tired legs. Just 2 substitutes have been used today, and for the most part, the starting 11 has played nearly the whole game alongside Callista Rubel. It's a little bit of Alina Rodriguez as Rubel slips one through the legs of Diana Ruiz, trying to find the run up the right side of Singh, but nothing doing. Rubel rumbling, trying to see if she can take a ball away from a woman here in the center. Madrigal on it, forward now for Myers. Her pass to the left wing a little short, cut off there by Ninkovic. Trujillo forward for Singh, back to goal inside the center circle. She'll leave that for Rosemont inside the circle, goes to Esquivia, stood up there by the arrival of a defender. Drop back to Lopez Real, tries to burn Madrigal down the left wing. Last touched by the 9 in black. It'll be a Viking throw, about 30 yards shy of the byline. And for DVC, you're somewhat split in terms of strategy and priorities at this point. Do you want to try and find that goal to get yourself feeling good going into Sac City next week as Rubel loses out on a challenge? 22 Myers getting down and dirty and smothering that as the ball's put out wide to the right side in search of Ellis by Riley Hyde, out for a Viking throw. Oh, correction, Sierra throw must have taken a touch on the way through as there will be a couple of substitutions. Kate Browers entering, nope, never mind, okay. So now we got excited. It is a DVC throw. Everything's covered up over on that sideline for us from this position, so I was trusting Willie Preston for a second there, but it's okay. Happens to the best of us. Ella DeChoco receives a ball here at the back of the center circle, forward for Singh. Trujillo getting off to a run. Sierra have it well covered. Drop back to Ninkovic, gives indications, tries to put one forward, but intercepted by Josie Young. Forward for Hyde. Back of the center circle for Myers, looking for the run of Casares. And she's found it going up the right wing. Lopez Real in pursuit. Casares. Loses it out the sideline. Looks like it'll be a throw in here in a moment for Sierra and an opportunity to operate the substitutions. Megan Benyon, who missed about a month of play between September 8th and October 8th. Played Friday and will come in for her 6th appearance of the season. Kate Browers in as well, her 4th appearance of 2024. The scoreline now 3-0. Late drops of this game, a chance for Jason Gant to empty his bench. We'll see if the Vikings do the same. It would basically mean putting Hannah Walden in. That's the only thing we haven't used yet. Short rosters produce gallows humor. Sierra in possession here in minute number 83. Trying to work a ball through the center towards the half moon, cleared away by DVC partially. Now back on the feet of Kate Browers, the newly inserted player with the number 26 on her back. Back and forth with Casares. Now Ellis trying to feed her up the right wing. Gets in across from the byline. Knocked down inside the 18. Stabbed away by DVC's 23, Ella DeChoco. Now worked back in. Ellis tries to set it up for a shot from the top of the 18. That will skew wide. That off the boot of Caitlin Myers.
side.
First half, a very even affair, 0-0 all the way to the 44th minute. At the moment of that final shot, Sierra led in shots 7-6 at that point, just before the shot that led to the opening goal. Led in shots on goal, I believe, at that point 3-2. It was a very even encounter through 44 minutes, at which point a bolt from the blue off the boot of Angelina Kazanek opened the scoring just before the break, and moments after the restart, Sierra ready to try and seize total control of this game. You know they would have come into this one feeling like they really should win. But you don't get there just by putting on the jersey with the Sierra shield. You get there by playing with the kind of quality we've seen here today in this second half. DVC stood tall for 45, but different story here in the second 45. Ball possessed by Browers, tries to put it to the right side. A bit of a heavy touch, nearly showed it to Esquivias. Now Aaliyah Ellis gets it through to the top of the 18-yard box looking for Riley Hyde. Calissa Rubel tumbles to the ground here under a challenge. Hyde gets back on the ball, fires, blocked by DeChoco. Rubel can't get it away, puts it on her right, fires, and that'll go straight to Denise Correa.
Shot number 5, Riley Hyde.
I've lost count at this point of the saves for Denise. But there have been a decent number. I don't think she's reached double figures today, though, as she has twice in the last 3 games. Have seen a few expert bits of goalkeeping, and hard to fault her for either of the 2 goals. First one floated over the top, did manage to get a hand to it, but just couldn't get enough power behind the punch. And the second one was a rifle shot to the top third. In hockey, you'd call it a bottle knocker. Third one just calm, cool, and collected off the boot of Aaliyah Ellis. This ball floated over the top in the direction of Ellis. Maila Hicks will cut her off and at least hold her up for a little while. Here comes Diana Ruiz, taking it away as the ball was laid back to Myers. Cleared about 40 yards from goal, but now just to the feet of the 21 Young. Given to Riley Allred, who takes a rip, blocked by, I believe, Ella DeChoco. That thing had enough stank on it that despite the shot being from roughly the half moon, it hits DeChoco and bounces all the way to the snack shack. And here is definitively the emptying of the bench. Giselle Mercado has played a decent bit already, but we do see the 20 and the 25, Emmy Nogan, bringing in her 3rd appearance of the season. Emily Pierce as well, her 3rd appearance of the season. In the case of Nogan, it's the 3rd Friday in a row that she's gotten in. She played against Folsom Lake and Sac City. Emily Pierce made her first appearance since the opener against Sac City last Friday. For the Vikings, Alina Rodriguez comes in and takes off Casey Trujillo for the final 4 minutes of our encounter. Off the throw-in, ball played and centered up here for Riley Hyde. Her shot saved by Denise Correa. Yeah, she might get to double figures yet. I'm sure the DVC defense would prefer she didn't have to. DVC coaching staff as well, probably. But Correa has been big, easily the player of the match in the game against Delta 10 days ago when the Vikings broke their losing streak. They will look to pick up their first win since early September on Tuesday when they take on Sacramento City College. That a team that has been going through it as well, and a team the Vikings will feel they really should get something from, as we've got a foul inside the center circle. Crowd of about 6 Wolverines and Vikings battling for the ball. It goes against DVC, and a free kick to come. Taken short by the Sierra defense out to Kate Browers. She puts a ball towards the top of the 18-yard box. Defending it was Mercado, cleared toward the sideline by Rosemont. Throw in to come here for the Wolverines. So we will show you those upcoming matches here. We mentioned what else is going on here at DVC in the next few, and that's the Saturday tailgate and the San Joaquin Delta DVC football game tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Volleyball, meanwhile, in action tonight. That kicking off or tipping off or serving up one way or another in about 40 minutes' time. DVC water polo already in action against Cabrillo. We'll have for you as well a look at what is to come for DVC soccer. A reminder, they'll be in action against Sacramento City on Tuesday. We have a special guest commentator confirmed for that day, so do tune in. I'll give you one hint if you're somebody who knows a few of the DVC coaches. He's got the kind of voice that is really going to class up the joint. Just sounds more like soccer when you get a Brit in there. And an absolute tactical whiz. I am really excited to hear his thoughts about the DVC team, about the Sac City team, perhaps as well about the Santa Rosa team. So stay tuned for that. We hope to have him for both games, but we know we've got him Tuesday. Big special guest here as the ball's brought forward towards the half moon. So coming together there for a moment of a Sierra player as well as Denise Correa, but it ends up being one of DVC's defenders that take the ball away. Sierra again on the attack, looking for a ball forward in the direction of Emmy Nogan, but a bit overhit by Pierce. Clock has stopped here at the Sierra College field as well as here on DVC Vikings Live Radio, and we are at the final drops of today's action from... okay, we got nothing added according to Mr. Pulver, so about a minute 30 perhaps to go here in today's action. We'll see if DVC look for a goal de la bandera, as we introduced you to against Skyline College when the Vikings picked up that goal despite being down 4-0. Certainly propelled them into the following week when they picked up a hard-won draw against Cañada and then put Butte under an assault that was only denied by a keeper that was having the day of her life. Otherwise, Vikings would have probably picked up a victory in that one as well. We'll see if DVC look for something along those lines. Right now, struggling just to possess, as Nogan puts a ball up the middle, and the run coming from deep from the 20. Rather, I'm sorry, excuse me, it was Pierce with the ball forward. It was Nogan making the run, the 25 to the 20. Cleared away by DVC's defense. And that is going to do it. Ken Pulver brings this one to a close, and Sierra College have won here at home. They go to 8-1-6 and maintain their spot on the top of the Big 8 Conference, courtesy of goals on either side of halftime by Kazanek and De Benedetto. Aaliyah Ellis with the goal in the 78th minute to end all doubt for the Wolverines as they, again, maintain that top spot in the Big 8 and in NorCal. For DVC, the winless streak stretches to 12, the losing streak now to 3, and the goalless streak as well. 4 games since they've scored, picked up one in the late first half against Modesto 2 weeks ago today, but have not tasted the sweet nectar of the goal in quite some while. And I myself am still waiting, because it's been since September 24th since I've gotten to lose my mind completely for one. So we'll hope for a lot of that. I expect to be paid back with interest on Tuesday as the Vikings take on Sacramento City. Until then, this is Joe Hickey thanking those who have been so kind to have me here, Janice Herder and Willie Preston here, as well as Jason Gant, who made sure that I knew I would be welcome when we came up to Rockland. But for all of them, this is Joe Hickey wishing you dreams of green until next time. So long.